You're listening to the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast, an on-demand talk radio show that covers internet marketing best practices for chiropractors. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick MacNamara. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 23 of the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick MacNamara, and today we're going to talk about how to put together a master marketing plan. But first, I'd like to thank Chiropractic Marketing Websites for sponsoring today's episode. CMW helps chiropractors turn website visitors into new patients in 90 days or less without tech overwhelm or spending a lot on advertising. If you're not getting the number of leads you'd like from your current chiropractic website, then head on over to chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com to learn more. That's chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com, or if you don't want to type all of that in, just enter getcmw.com. That's getcmw.com. All right, let's jump into the meat of today's podcast. As Stephen Covey used to say, all things are created twice. There's a mental or first creation and a physical or second creation to all things. Take the construction of a home, for example. You create it in every detail before you ever hammer the first nail into place. Then you reduce it to a blueprint and develop construction plans. You have to make sure that the blueprint, aka the first creation, is really what you want and that you've thought everything through. Then you put it into bricks and mortar. In other words, you begin with the end in mind. It's no different with marketing. That's the reason why the method my clients use is so effective. It begins with the end in mind by mapping out your master marketing plan and offers blueprints for every single step of the marketing journey. Since the new year is right around the corner, there's no better time than now to start utilizing this plan. Here's how to get started. First, think about where you are in practice right now and what you're trying to achieve. In other words, how's your business doing and where do you want it to be in 90 days? How about a year from now? How about 3 years from now? What does the future look like? Are you just trying to figure out how to attract new patients, or are you looking to leverage yourself by automating your business? You see, it's questions like these that help you define point A, a starting point, so to speak, that's designed to propel you forward. Remember, if you don't know where you are, you'll never get to where you want to be. That's why you need to define point A. The way it's mapped out in my online training is through a simple one-page blueprint. You start with your 3-year vision for both life and business, then reverse engineer the specific goals, strategies, and actions required to get there. You then make it stick by creating a new one every 90 days. Your 3-year vision is your why. Your 1-year goals are your what. Your 90-day strategy is your how. This week's actions dictate your now. Your 3-year vision determines why you're doing this in the first place. Your 1-year goals define what needs to be true in 1 year to be on track for that big why. Your 90-day strategy defines your how, and then this week's actions are performed now by asking yourself, what do you need to be doing right now that'll make the biggest impact on your practice? Make sure you watch my training on the Master Marketing Plan for further insight. I'll leave a link to it in the show notes of today's podcast. While you're there, go ahead and download my blueprint so that you can start preparing for the new year now instead of later. It's my gift to you as we head into the holiday season. All right, that's a wrap for today, but make sure you tune in next time because I'll dive deeper into the CMW method. This way, you'll have a better understanding on how I can help you turn website visitors into new patients in 90 days or less without tech overwhelm or spending a lot on advertising. Also, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and check out the links in today's show notes or simply visit chiropracticmarketingpodcast.com for a full list of supported platforms. For example, I'm on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Audible, Google Podcast, Spotify, and much, much more. Last but certainly not least, I would greatly appreciate your review of this podcast over at Apple Podcast. It not only helps build awareness of what I'm talking about, but also gives me a good indication of how I'm doing. Be nice, be fair, but definitely be honest. I would greatly appreciate it, and so will future listeners. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.